as you guys can probably tell by the background, I'm still in New Zealand, and it's still summer and it's still bloody hot. And so I thought that'd be a good opportunity to go find a spot to swim. New Zealand's pretty awesome in the fact that it's got a lot of little strips really close to the beach. And I think at one of them I can access the beach. But that involves some island hopping. It involves flying over some water. And I thought that'd be a good opportunity to talk to you guys about what I personally do for overwater flying. Now, this is not supposed to be instructional. Don't take my word for it, anything. This is just what I do. Some of you might know that in 2017, I flew around the world in a single-engine Cessna 210. And so that involved, sometimes up to 13, 14 hours over the ocean in a single-engine airplane. Obviously, I developed quite an intricate plan on what I would do in the event of an engine failure, but it also brought a sense of comfort to flying over water, which I'm still not sure if that's a good thing or not, but I understand that I'm unusually comfortable with flying over water. But that being said, I'm still very, very diligent about what I actually take with. So yeah, we're going to cover that in this video. This morning I got ready to do the flight, checked my life jacket, and that had completely drained. This brings me to a pretty important point, because there are two equipment things that really, really matter to me on a short water crossing. I gotta emphasize this. I'm not talking about trying to fly from Hawaii to California. I'm talking about, spending 15, 20 minutes over water trying to get to an island or, something to that extent. The first and foremost is a life jacket, but I'm really picky about life jackets. People just get these these bunched up ones that are in A-liners, from under the seat, these yellow ones that you throw over your neck. I don't think that's sufficient, especially if you're the pilot. If in the event of an engine failure, you need to be focusing on flying the airplane, the last thing you want to be worrying about is trying to get a life jacket on and trying to, do all that stuff. It should be a permanent wearing life jacket that is ready to go. Make sure you have a manually activated life jacket. That's really, really important. It will save your life. You want to be able to get out of the airplane and swim clear of it before activating it. That's really important. The second is a communication device. I'm a firm believer in the Garmin InReach. I've used that thing for about 3 years now. When I do big flights, I use it to keep my family and everyone up to date on my ETA and whereabouts. And the really, really cool thing about it, for me, is obviously it's super rugged. But the thing about it that's really important to me is this: having the ability to attach it to your life jacket. When things go bad, the last thing I want to be worrying about is trying to kit myself up. I want to be ready to get out of that airplane. And so that thing's going to be attached to me. A large reason why I personally carry one as well is, in a survival situation, morale is everything. Especially if you're in a life raft or floating under a jacket for hours on end waiting for rescue to come. Being able to communicate with friends and family will give you hope, right? And that'll give you a significantly better chance of survival, and you'll be more driven to actually keep yourself alive. In the event of an engine failure today, I'm going to have permanent VHF contact. I've got a transponder on board. I know I'm within range of Auckland, and so I'm not going to have a big problem with them finding me. Might be 20 minutes, might be 30 minutes, might be an hour, but they're going to find me. But yeah, certainly helps to always have that, especially on big water crossings. It's in my permanent flight bag, and I don't go anywhere without it. Front clear.
Hey. Alright, I'm gonna do a quick hat swap. It's hook in. Alright, that's much better. So I'm gonna grab the nearest controlled airport that I know this control is sitting there. I'm gonna grab their frequency. So that's Auckland. So I'm going to put that into the radio as my standby frequency so that in the event that anything happens, I can just flip-flop and I'm talking to them directly. New Zealand's a bit different. They don't really have flight following. If I did have the option for flight following, I'd be doing that right now. Communication, response time is super important for something like this. People really neglect the safety belt in general while flying, but especially over water. And so many people drown in cars as well, largely just because they end up unconscious during the event and can't get out. And so making sure that your safety belt, first of all, around the waist is nice and tight, and then around the shoulder is really, really important for overwater flying. There's no point in having egress training and having a whole plan on how to get out when you can't physically get out of the airplane when you've landed. But that brings me to another point, is your actual buckle, familiarizing yourself and practicing the release of the buckle that you're using. Every airplane is different, so you need to know that you can release this thing real quick. You want to make sure you take care of yourself with the safety belt when you do impact the water, because with a fixed gear airplane, it's going to be a bit of an impact. And then you want to be able to release this. So I've got Auckland approach, which is a huge international airport. It's about probably 20 minutes that way. I've got them on my standby. I'm talking to Peninsula traffic, which is a big traffic area. And so there's very likely another airplane that'll hear me. I've got my transponder on. I know Auckland can see me. That is valuable. Kind of at an altitude where, I'm still within gliding distance of shore. I will lose it very briefly here coming up. But I'm also flying. My entire path is sort of very selective about trying to, bounce from shore to shore. Sometimes you don't have a choice, but in this event, New Zealand's filled with islands. I can zigzag my way over to my location or my destination instead of just risking it and going hard, This is what happens when you want to protect your noise cancelling, because the airplane is really loud, but the sun's cooking you. So I've resorted to just popping my hat over the top. Another quick thing that actually matters a lot as well is your ability to ditch successfully is really influenced by the sea state. So how rough is the ocean? How big are the waves? Where's the wind coming from? So I don't want to go into, because that's a whole other conversation, we could have a 3-hour lecture on this, but you can, through surface winds, often determine the condition of sea state. There's a lot of marine apps out there like Predict Wind and stuff. Get a fairly good glance of the sea state before you leave. But on a day like today, I can tell where the wind's coming from. And so I know where it's coming from, I know what I'm going to do, but the sea state is great, it's really great. I don't see any white caps, I don't see any of that, so that will be a big benefit in the event of a ditch. Nice bumpy coming in, so I'm expecting some shear and stuff over these mountains. There's a bit of an hey, wants to still fly. Dump those flaps. Alright, we're here. For some lunch.
Alright, made it. I love this place. It always just looks like Hawaii. Like that spot out there especially. Just looks like Hawaii. And yeah, it was a successful flight. Technem took care of me. I think my plan now is to go try and find some lunch and cool down. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed me sharing what I know about flying over water. I mean, don't take it as gospel. I don't know it all. I don't know what your circumstances are. and I'm sure there's a lot more that I could be doing to be safer, and I'll continue growing as a pilot. And but yeah, these are just some of the basic things I do there's a lot more to it, but you know, I don't want to make a 3-hour video. But yeah, so yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one.